Welcome to the Quantum Self Podcast, where we synthesize ancient knowledge with modern science. Have you ever felt like something greater is trying to communicate with you, but you just don't know how to listen? Your higher self is always guiding you, sending signs, whispers, inner knowing. And the question is, are you tuned in? Throughout this podcast, we'll dive deep into the practical steps, how to quiet the noise and clear the pipe so you can receive the clear messages from your higher self. We'll also include a 20-minute guided meditation to fully integrate everything we learn and discuss throughout the podcast. So stay tuned, because by the end of this podcast, you'll feel lighter, clear, and more connected to your higher self than ever before. And these are my amazing co-hosts. We have Chan Tangdeep Singh, and we also have Tej Ranshir Singh as well, that are joining us on this galactic adventure we are about to begin. So go ahead, Chan, if you want to introduce yourself, talk about, the topic, how to connect with your higher self, just anything that, you feel called to share.
Yeah, welcome everybody. So I guess the first thing we really want to do is kind of look at what is a higher self, right? And then how do we get in touch with it? I think there's many kind of versions of ourself, and even in psychology, you have the conscious, the subconscious, the superconscious, the id, the ego, so on. There's different layers of who we are, and our higher self is, just as it says, it's like the highest potential of us. Many meditative and spiritual practices actually have you meditate on a version of yourself that is above you. It's connected through a beam to your body, right? But ultimately, in our life, in our many lives, if you're a subscriber to that reincarnation theory, even through our ancestry, through our culture, we're kind of programmed, and we receive a lot of dramas and traumas that they kind of like grab onto us and hold. And when we're not able to really release that and work through it, we can get stuck in our lower selves. So I would say, just the most general statement about contacting your higher self is to really clean your vessel, to allow yourself to receive it.
Amazing. Yeah, I definitely agree. There's a cleansing process that happens, kind of like plumbing pipes, right? If you want the water to channel freely and just clean and filtered, then you have to do the work to clean the pipe, right? And then as you clean the pipe, the channel becomes just effortless, right? You'll be able to see the omens, to see the signs. So really well put. Thank you, Chan, for that. And let's go over to Tej. How you doing, Tej?
Yeah. So excellent advice, Chan, with cleaning the channel, both you guys. It's really most important thing there can be. I look at it in the way of the clear channel quiets the noise. So you're not being bombarded with normal thoughts, normal reactive thoughts, or just like the mind likes to constantly either fantasize about the future or fantasize about the past or the future, essentially not live in the now moment. But if we're thinking about the past or the future, we can't really be, in my opinion, tapped into our higher self or channeling pretty much anything, because we're not even within ourself. So again, clean vessel, slowing down is really helpful, because then you can, even like how my body just gave two good examples. I don't want to be using the word so I'm in the process of switching it to om instead of because that's at least more productive. Om. But just even like that little split second, you can catch yourself. Anyways, it seems tedious and seems tedious and not too efficient, but when you get down to like really cleaning, really being aware, it's exactly these little tiny processes, in my opinion, that really make the biggest bang for your buck. Even in like when you're training a dog, the most successful way to train a dog is repetitive commands using the same word, and rewarding yourself or the dog as well on a job well done. With channeling, for me, I really struggled with this one because I have a hard time getting out of my own way. And faith, you really have to have faith and trust in yourself, knowing that your mind is going to try and argue what you already know, and just being able to forgive your mind for that, but go with what you already know. For me, it's like when my head answers, it comes from a different place than when my like higher self answers, or when any type of this channeling comes out, because you're not, the only way it really works is when you're not in the way of it. It's like if you, after meditation, you were to just journal, the second you stopped your pencil, then you know you'd be out. They could say you're out of it. Anyway, but the stream of flowing consciousness, it puts you in a spot where you just kind of have to watch it. You see it come out of you. You see the answer come out of you. You see the thought come out of you. It's not that you have the thought. It's just part of you, and you see it being expressed. So that's all I have for this little intro into channeling the higher self. Oh, but nature too. Nature's a good spot to go. Try and work with this stuff. Talk to a leaf, talk to a wave, talk to a cloud, because you'll be surprised. You'll get answers. Even spirit. Some people believe in spirit guides, power, and whatever the word is, that we're all talking about the same thing here. That other part of your quantum self, that higher self up there.
Amazing. Yeah, man.
Phone it up, man. You got to give him a call or her a call. You got to be like, what's going on up there? How am I doing? Oh, you really want to be doing that? Oh, yeah, my bad. Salad, not the pizza? Okay, all right.
Oh yeah.
I know you got my bag.
Yeah, man. So what you're saying, Tej, is just to essentially get out of the way and allow the naturalness of just everything around you to speak and interface with it, you know? Like ask a question to the wave, talk to the leaves, right? Like just really harmonize with everything around you.
Yeah. And it really helps if one can, to like live these, like there's, when you're meditating, you're also channeling in a sense, in my opinion. So like you can channel these things kind of out within yourself, inside of yourself, or just use it as an individual channel per se, where you use the same process of channeling. You're channeling within yourself. But faith, man, it's going to be hard for you to start hearing things being said that you're not really doing. So you see yourself doing something, but then you know, you really know deep down you're not supposed to be doing it. It makes this like contradiction, or it makes a tension point. So again, you got to come at these things with love and joy and just treat it like a game. But your heart will tell you literally, like, you can feel it, you can talk to it, it'll thump harder or it won't. Like, there's an energy to it. Or some people like to use muscle testing, like, because when you first start channeling, you're gonna want to tell yourself you're not channeling because you might not believe in channeling. So that's not very good for your progress. So you got to help yourself see that you're actually doing it so that you can continue to do it.
Definitely.
Want to do it. Sorry.
Yeah, no, like no need to apologize. You're channeling, right? Like you're flowing. And you said something really important, like at the beginning you doubt it, and that kind of limits the channel. You're kind of constricting the channel. It's almost like you're trying to breathe and at the same time you're trying to hold your breath, and that's part of developing this channel to your higher self, right? It's not about just all at once, right? Like the same way you learn how to walk. First you learn how to crawl, and then you learn how to walk, and then run, and then sprint, etc., right? And then you could fly maybe one day, right? Hopefully. And and it's a progress, right? Like you have to work with it, and it's a dance, right? Like the more compassion you have for yourself, the more traumas you release, the more you see that, okay, like I asked the universe which direction to go, and I made a right, and it was exactly what I needed, and I found these people and I met these people, and then you're like, oh, okay, that's how it works. It's a gentle nudge. It's not like some people think it's gonna be an ominous, like, make a left now. And it's not. It's a really, like, it's almost like, it's like a little, just a tug.
It's super subtle. And then super subtle feelings.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's definitely awesome. And I had some questions here. If Chan, do you have anything to say before I go into?
Oh, I was gonna validate exactly that. It's like the higher self, and it's kind of like KK in the chat said, intuition.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something. It comes in a whisper, and it only really speaks once. Because it's now, it's in the moment. Like Tej said, it's not here in the future, the past. It's what's happening now, and the higher self will whisper to you. And whenever we have a mind full of thoughts, we're paying attention to those. We're not going to hear that higher self come through.
Yeah, she's super subtle. She's super subtle.
Do a little tech work real quick.
Yeah, I forgot to add the chat. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's all good though. We're good now. Should be good. Let me see. Test. Yeah, we're good now. All right, cool. And definitely it is similar to intuition, but there's a distinction. There's a slight distinction, I would say. Channeling your higher self is like, it's like you get out the way and you start speaking with absolute trust. You start moving with absolute trust. Like the nudge is the intuition, but then when you start channeling, it's like a spark of energy. It's just like I made a left, and then you just keep trusting and you just keep moving. And there's no thought to it. It's almost like the flow state, And yeah, and then KK says intention as well. I would say intention plays a part in the sense of like, I'll give an example, and then we could go to, I have a few questions as well. But like an example was, I was in Southeast Asia, I was in Laos, and I was like processing a lot of like heavy stuff, and it was a very chaotic environment. Right? And my intuition told me to ask for help. So that was intuition, right? Because I was just going and it was like chaos. Every day it was like some chaotic thing was happening. But my intuition was like, ask for help, ask for directions. So I said, okay, I'm gonna ask for directions. I said, I'm gonna walk this street, you tell me when to stop. So I'm walking the street, faith, and then it's like, make a right. And I made a right. Okay, I made a right, and then I'm like, okay, I'm in some random deli. And then I see the board. I'm like, okay, I'm going to order some food, right? I'm like, what do I order, right? So I order the thing. Okay, the thing comes. It's the wrong order. I don't complain. I'm like, all right, cool. And then the guy was like, hey, you know, you could go upstairs and you could sit down. I was like, all right, cool. Where do I sit? Okay, I'm going to sit down over here. Boom, I sat down. Then, a few minutes later, a girl walks in, and I could just tell, she's like uncomfortable or something, right? And then she's like, hey, you know, like a few minutes later, she's like, hey, can I sit over there? Because I usually draw. And so I was like, yeah, sure. You know, you can sit down in front of me. That's totally fine. And she's drawing this thing, right? And then something asked me, like my higher self was like, yo, ask her what she's drawing. And it turns out she's like drawing this like Ouroboros 8, like infinity sign, snake eating itself. And then, you know, just to keep the story short, we just hit it off. It was like amazing. It was like sparks were flying, instant chemistry. And when I was just talking to her, I wasn't thinking about what to tell her, right? It was like my higher self was speaking, and I didn't feel scared to ask her some even personal things, because that were just channeling through, you know. And I was like, hey, have you done this before? You know, I sensed that this happened or something. Like, I would just talk, right? So I would say like channeling is when you remove all doubt. You're not even thinking anymore, and you're just trusting. So intuition was like the nudge, but then I also had to just trust and just allow my body just to move in directions that I had no idea, say things that I didn't know about, and just have that faith. So I did kind of want to make that distinction a little bit, because they're together, but like they're not the same in a way. You know, did that make sense, guys? Like that example?
So, and it sounds like too, by like trusting your intuition, not like you just ended up in some random spot, it actually led you to have a connection with somebody who was present in your life for a purpose, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The higher self guided you, not just like, oh, we're just going to go to the deli, but you know, it's like, there's going to be a person there, we're going to meet them, you know? So there's the intention is coming from the higher self itself.
Yeah. And I think they all play together. Intention, intuition, and channeling. It's just like, it's a dance, you know? Because my intention was to find peace, you know? That was my intention, because there was so much chaos. But then, you know, through the process, and then there's times where, you know, you might receive a download, right? Like you might just meet a random person, right? Like this is channeling. Like you're just at a coffee shop, and then you just know, hey, that person was in an accident, their lower back hurts. So now, right, that was a download, but the channel is like, do you have enough trust to go up to that person and say, hey, were you in an accident? Does your lower back hurt? And then that could just open up a whole nother thing where you just start talking to them, and more things just get revealed and revealed and revealed. And that's the channel. It just keeps coming and flowing until it just stops, right? Until whatever the divine will, the divine purpose was, until it's finished, then, you know, because we're just conduits, right? Like, for example, a pipe of water, right? The water is just flowing through the pipe. The pipe is in the water, but it's just the vessel. It's just containing the water and directing the stream. So I did want to say that if you guys want to, you know, elaborate on that. KK says that she got it. Awesome. I'm glad I was able to communicate that story. Okay, so I do have a question for you guys. Have you ever experienced a moment where you felt like completely aligned with your higher self? Like, have you guys had any of those experiences similar to what I just shared?
Yeah, like aha moments, I guess, is the easiest way I'd sum them up, right? Like, because I know it's weird too, because when people hear channeling, they think probably people, you know, like taking in channeling an entity or someone from some other place or some other time. and it's just channeling is just a word, and yeah, that's what they call the process of it. But again, all of us are able to do this, and like Aqua Wolf was saying, the intuition and the attention, or the intention and then the intuition are going to be how you set it up so you can channel yourself. You can use this process so you can practice with yourself and essentially just allow these events to happen more often, because like Aqua was also saying, we're really all it is we're living in that river or that pipe, and all we want the water's always coming down no matter what. You're just either aware of it or you're not. You're either trying to do something about it or you're not, constricting it or controlling it, whatever the case. Even back to the journal, the second you try and think about what to write, you're out of the channel. So it's kind of like one of those things where we're just practicing getting out of our own way and allowing what we know is supposed to happen. So like, in another firm reason why I like to do yoga is you have a daily practice where your body, you're doing these things for your body. You're putting them in positions to work with each other, to bring up old trauma, to release it, to strengthen it, to support it. Like you come together, and your body in the practice will tell you how to, like, the more you do it, the body tells you how your pose is going to be for you. So like, even in yoga, the more you do it, you start to feel like the channel of your own being, or like 100% awareness mode. Because again, when the channel's happening, you're not necessarily like aware of what's happening, because you can't be, because then you're not in the channel. So it's like a complete surrendering of letting go of the wheel. And then afterwards, your brain, it does what it wants to do, or does what it naturally is meant to do and wants to do, and that's like judge or measure. Up, down, left, right, good, bad, yes, no. Yeah. Anyway, just to put it there, just to, again, these are things that I only hope to lay a perspective on, so that people can start to experience it with themselves. Through meditation is a really easy way to do this. And then you can even start to work out, like, if you needed to make a decision and you weren't sure about the decision, you could relive these individually within yourself, meditate, like try and channel each train of event, like, and see how this one would unfold and how it feels to you, and then you go back to the start, and then you do the other one. Like, we're just riding or channeling particular specific energy waves or frequencies. Same thing with, like, you've got to kind of tune the channel of what you're trying to quantum jump to before you can quantum jump to it. So these are all like practical singular steps into the big piece of a bigger puzzle. Yeah. And so it helps to just think of them as like that. I'm sorry I went way off the question, but yeah, to be able to recreate these moments where you, like Aqua was talking about, you don't know what happened, but you know what happened. Like, the more the body practices this channeling or this process, whatever you want to call it is for you, again, the more faith and trust your body and your mind starts to build in the process, allowing you to continue to do it more willingly, more freely, with more excitement and joy, with more consistency. We are the closed loop system, bro. I totally figured it out. We are the first closed loop system. It's all about our perspective. our perspective and what we input into our own system, like literally changes how whether our output is sustainable and continue generates or not. But we can change it like that, man. It's just like we can change fuel, we can change that, we can experiment with that. We just forget, because again, we're going so fast, we don't even think we have 5 minutes to sit and meditate. So then by definition of triggering that thought, we then tell ourselves, oh, well, we sure as heck don't have 20 minutes to do yoga or a half an hour to do yoga if we don't have 5 minutes to meditate. And then it goes again from there. It's like, oh, well, yeah, no wonder we couldn't do anything like this. So you really gotta, it helps to be able to catch these things, see these things, know that that's not your frequency or your channel, your vibration anyway. And then it helps, have a spot to go back to, center point.
Mm-hmm.
Chand.
I mean, you made a ton of valid points there, my friend. Might have been a little off course with the question, but it was definitely worth going through everything you said there.
He's channeling. He's just flowing.
Yeah, you're in your channel, bro. You're giving solid advice and guidance here. I think the question, what was the question again, Aqua?
So going back to the question, I do want to highlight a few things that Tej was saying before we go to the question, and he was saying this one thing about just man, dang, it left. No, it'll come back. All right, let's go to the question, because I was like, man, I want to highlight that, but it left for now. It'll come back. It says, the question is, have you ever experienced a moment where you felt completely in alignment with your higher self?
I would say in my life right now, every moment, my whole life is aligned with my higher self. I'm at a great place where like I don't have any doubt. I have full trust in what the universe brings me every day. And with that, like, it's called channeling. I'm literally on the channel. Like, turn the dial on the TV, turn the channel. I've got it locked in.
Yeah.
You know, every day, like I've got goals and intentions, and it's just this big wave. Every day, the universe just brings opportunities, brings things into me. You know. I was just telling you guys today. You know, like Tej and I were graduating Kundalini teacher training, and we're looking to start teaching classes, and boom. Just some guy I haven't talked to in like a year. He's like, hey, we're setting up this whole like online video platform. Would you guys want to channel Kundalini yoga here? You know? But I would say like one practical tip, one practical tool that's helped me. And I wasn't even like trying to learn to channel, but I can look back and see, you know, if you're passionate about like an art or a craft or something where you get into a flow state, you're going to start working that muscle that allows you to build a channel. Like all this art around me, you know, I just make it. I don't think, like my mind isn't going like, I have a picture, I'm going to make something. It's kind of like what Tej said with journaling, like a stream of conscious journaling. You just start writing. And the words that come down, that's a channel, you know. You can ask your higher self a question and just go. And for me, it was just making art and just that practice, and then I became a chef and just cooking, just being there in the moment, flowing, knowing just what to do without even thinking about it. It just starts happening. But it does become like a muscle that you work through, and then as you clean your vessel, it just happens more and more spontaneously. The doubts and things stop coming up. You know, and some practice of meditation, what that does for me, it trains my mind to silence the thoughts, right? And not that I don't have thoughts, but it's the thoughts that are just about things that aren't relevant to what's going on, you know, or the thoughts that are thinking about like some conversation I had with somebody. It's like, but I go into meditation, let that fade away, and it's like the next time I maybe talk to that person, I don't have all these things built up in my head that I feel a pressure to speak about. It's just like I'm able to tune in, be there, present in the moment, and let that conversation flow.
Yeah, man. You touched on a lot of really powerful indicators of being in the channel, which is like the synchronicities, right? You touched on allowing the arts, creativity to flow through you, right? It's very important. I believe, and I've experienced, right, through my artistic expressions, that is the closest we could get to just a clean channel, right? Just any type of art, whether you're dancing, whether you're singing, drawing, painting, writing, right? When you could get to a point, even playing sports in a way, right? Like that's a body art, right? When you could get to a point where you're not thinking, I think that's the real key. You're not thinking, there's no doubts, there's no judgments, there's no assumptions. It's just pure, right? Like even how we do these podcasts is a channel, because like we come up with a title and then we just wing it. We do some breath exercises and we have no idea what we're gonna talk about, how we're gonna talk about it. We just kind of have a direction, right? We're just like, we're gonna go over there. We have no idea how we're gonna go. And it's just trust, it's faith. And even before every episode, I get nervous, right? I'm like, yo, what are we gonna do? Is it gonna turn out good? And then you just surrender, right? I think Tej was talking about that, the surrender, right? Just literally giving yourself, just take the wheel, Jesus, take the wheel, you know. just go with it, right? It's definitely very important. KK also says, I want to read a comment here. She says, congrats. And then she also says, being present in the moment, I keep thinking lately how the past was 10 years ago and 10 seconds ago. Amazing. That is amazing. That is very powerful. Because the past is literally just, is trailing. Like we've been rolling for about 32 minutes. That's all in the past, right? We're just here right now, right? Just answering this question, showing presence. So that's amazing perspective. And you know, like Chan was just expressing, is like when you meditate and then you ground yourself, you process all these things that come up, right? And you just sit with it, right? You get to clear the channel, right? I think meditation and yoga are an amazing tool to clean the vessel, right? Because meditation helps you clear the thoughts, and then yoga helps you break up all of the past wounds, the injuries, traumas in the body, because the body keeps the score, right? And if your body's constricted, then the channel is constricted. It's like having a clogged drain pipe, right? So you put some Drano in there, you flush it out, right? You call a plumber, and then boom, now it could flow again, right? So
yeah, literally we're inside, we're crystalline based, and so it's either electrical energy, chemical energy, or light energy. But the light energy is the one that really is in touch with our kundalini, or our higher vibrational, our light body, we'll just call it that. So if there's dirt on your lenses or dirt on your magnifying glass, the light doesn't shine through it as brightly or as clearly as it could. Or if those lenses are out of alignment, it's harder for it to shine through. So again, these are good things. And just with her, what she was saying about the past, in my experiences, the past, sometimes when we get hit with big chunks of past quickly, it's because they're trying to show us something. So they kind of like give us a condensed version. I don't know if it's been in patterns or just like one time, but if there's chunks of past that you see yourself consider like coming into your awareness more often than others, it could be yourself trying to tell you something about like what not to do or what to do something differently. Because again, when this channel gets good, it's like you're you're more in contact with your oversoul on a daily to daily basis. So if you've done things in other parallel realities that didn't work out so good for you, it'll naturally kind of try and guide you, if you listen and allow it, to not make these same mistakes, to maybe go to try this instead of that. Like, it really is. Infinite is a hard thing for us to understand because we see time and we just see one timeline stretched from all the way this way to all the way that way, but it doesn't. And if you did that, literally it would make a loop. It would just make a loop. And then, so you've got to be able to reframe that as like infinity is equals everything at once. So again, this is why these things are so important, is because every time I go left, there's a place that where I went right, and we're both able to use the data of how that worked once we're able to tap into our oversoul or our higher self, or the higher power, whatever you want to call it. So it's really like we're doing ourselves a disservice by not tapping into all that data that can be presented to us on a day-to-day basis, as long as we have the awareness of what to do with it. Like, am I just thinking about the past right now because I'm sad and I want to relish in it? Am I thinking about the past because I have to make a decision and I want to look at the decisions I made in this chunk of time to see how I can make a better decision going forward? Everything has so many different angles at it. Yeah. I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there. This is a good one for me though, because ideally that's like, in my opinion, that's what enlightenment is you're just literally walking around in perfect flow from place to place, not seeing it, not thinking about it, just literally doing it and observing it happening. Like, just, yeah.
Amazing.
Bliss.
Yeah,
Bliss.
man. Yeah, man. That is really powerful stuff, Tej, that you just shared, man. Just really being in the moment, I think, is the key, right? I think is the key to a lot of things, you know. Very powerful book that helped me was The Power of Now. I'm sure a lot of people know of this book.
Eckhart Tolle.
Eckhart Tolle is a phenomenal teacher. I think he's like the guru of the now, the present moment, you know. Like, he just goes really deep in just the power of the present moment. So many things, just sitting with it, right? No matter what comes up, you just sit with it, and that helps to dissipate all the blockages, and it clears the way for the channel, right? So yeah, amazing. Let me see. KK says, I have that book. Amazing book. Let me see. This is a good question, you know, that relates to our channel. How does quantum physics or the idea of the Akashic records tie into channeling and divine guidance?
So, read that one more time so I can really...
Yeah.
And so I can get out of my way here.
So the question is, how does quantum physics or the idea of the Akashic records tie into channeling and divine guidance?
Because everything's already there. All the possibilities are already there. It's just a matter of one being aware or attuned to it. If you're attuned to it or aware of it, you're in channel with it. Quantum mechanics it's the same thing. It's on the same channel. That's why it can be separated by any distance. And yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Separated,
it's like
entangled.
Amazing.
No, I'm done. I had a little hiccup. Had a little
Amazing.
hiccup.
Yeah. With the quantum, just looking at, what is it, the slit experiment, it's like, and that's just the entry level, but all infinite possibilities exist, right? Like Tej was saying, they're all there. It's like where we focus, where intention goes, is the wave that gets created. So when we're tapping into our higher self, we're choosing like the wave that's the clearest wave. It's not a wave that's like, it's like a smooth waveform. It's going to get us from point A to point B, the most efficient way. Yeah. And the Akashic is the same. The Akash, the ether, is just the Akashic records. It's just like, okay, all things are contained in the eth air, which is the most subtle form of the air. You just bring that to the quantum, just these infinite particles, but it's all just one particle really, and we're just observing our reality. So we can tap into it anytime, and it goes the other way too. It's like when you're not connected to your higher self and you're focused on these like discords and these waves and like maybe tensions and dramas, like you're just always arguing with your partner and being reactive, and you're just focused on this argument all the time, guess what you're going to get is that argument, right? It's always going to be coming back. Tune into your higher self, and your higher self keeps telling you like, do something else. Once you listen to that, now you're focusing on a different wave, right? You're focusing on a different aspect of infinity, and now you're going to start unfolding reality in that direction instead.
Yeah, man. Amazing. So what you're saying is that with our intention and our attention, we could shift channels, and then as our vessel is clean, it could flow through. We could flow through that channel, or be the conduit that channel flows through, I should say, right? So
yeah, I'd
very
say
powerful.
The cleaning the vessel lets you listen to the higher self. Instead of hearing this battle in your head, now you're hearing your higher self say, let's do something else.
So the best way I can describe it in simple terms is, I love the radio station analogy.
Yeah.
Like literally you're a radio, okay? How you tune and what you tune to depends on the amount of squelch, and then how good your radio is or how good your antennas are also determine how good a signal you can pick up. So it's a combination of these things. And then like anything, so let's just use dancing. When someone starts to learn how to dance, it's foreign and weird at the beginning. They have to think about what they're doing. They have to practice, they have to rehearse, learn, experience. By the time they're performing, they're not thinking about any of that stuff. They're just they're channeling all the information that they've pre-logged up until that moment to then play out with no distractions. It's just purely focused on, kind of like the awareness is that's another really good one. Because when you're really aware of something like washing dishes, what does the dish feel like? What does the water feel like? What does the soap feel like? Like, how does that feel to my hands? How is my hands taking in the warm water? Like, again, yeah, I've gone off track, but again, yeah, just the channeling process gets, I don't know, from what I've seen, it's just all about nowadays bringing in information from other entities or sources, and it's like, I understand that, but we can think about this much more practically. And it's funny because all of the channelers, they'll all say, oh, you can channel too, you know, but then again, nobody gives really like practical use or knowledge on how you can start to apply this to your daily life in a small chunks, so that we set ourselves up for success, because that's really what we're trying to do here, is set everybody up for success.
Amazing, Tej. Yes, we are trying to set people up for success very practically. And we're about 1 minute out from a meditation, and you're gonna witness a live channel. I've never done any meditations before. I don't even know what is to be expected. I have just faith and trust in the universe. You know, just I might make some weird noises, I might make weird sounds, because I am going to tune my vessel to a higher frequency so I can do this for you guys. So I'm just giving you, you know, a disclaimer, right? And this is just raw. I'm being very vulnerable right now. I'm kind of scared, but I'm just gonna go with it, and we're just gonna have fun. We're just gonna have fun, because that is the key. Have fun, right? Your child, right? That inner child knows how to channel. It was always channeling, right? When it was just saying weird words and saying weird questions, it's the thing is that we forgot. So that is what we're gonna do today, right? So if you guys are ready, let's see. Okay, so yeah, like this is gonna be unorthodox. This is not something, I don't even know what we're gonna do, but I'm just gonna hit this timer here, and we're gonna start breathing. We're gonna start taking some deep, long breaths just to relax. Let me actually set the timer here. Start. Okay, cool. So the first thing I want you guys to do is put your hands together like this, right? Just complete the loop, and then just lay it down on your thighs. And then we're gonna start with deep breaths, like breathe deep into your diaphragm, hold it, and then let it out through your mouth when you're ready. We're gonna do about 8 of these. Actually, we're gonna do 9. Deep breath, hold, release out your mouth. And when you release, make sure to make a sound like And as you're vibrating, that sound is releasing lower energies that are trapped in the body. Deep breath. We have about 4 more left. Release your shoulders when you exhale. And wiggle your body as you exhale. Just wiggle. We have 2 more to go. This is the last one. want you to express a noise that feels comfortable to you. Use your whole body. Try to sustain the note and allow your intuition to guide you. I will demonstrate. Allow the inner child to play. Laugh. Allow the inner child to play. She wants to play. She wants to laugh. He wants to play. Wiggle your body. Get into it. Just move. It's beyond words. Oh yeah. Yes, yes. Feel it, feel it. Yes, yes. Oh. Just laugh. Breathe. It's okay. It's okay. The frequency you emit with your body takes you. The lower, heavier energies have a sound. If you have anger, this helps. And we rise it up. And we ground. You start at the root and you rise. For the ladies, your vocal register might not reach that low, but you go as low as you can. And men, your vocal register might not reach that high, you go as high as you can. You want to express. want you to laugh.
I'm sorry.
Yes, yes. Laugh. Oh.
Woo!
Yes. And now, as my good friend Tej says, experience your experience. As you sit in the experience, feel the relaxation, feel the channels opening, feel every cell in your body just laughing. Now, imagine a door to a beautiful house, the most beautiful house you've ever seen. And you walk up the steps, you open the door, and your inner child, it runs and it grabs your leg. And it says, I've been waiting for you. I have so many cool things I want to show you. And you follow the child upstairs. And you're just so happy to see him, her. And you go into your room. And when you go into the room, it's just pure light. And you're laughing, you're smiling. And you can't stop laughing. There's so much joy. Your inner child that shows you all the wonderful things it's built. The castles, the dresses, the games, the drawings. And you just play. There's no worries. There's no fears. There's no time. The only thing to do is be. Just play. Just live and laugh. There's a window in the room. You walk over to the window and you open it. As you open the window, a powerful stream of light that was in the room goes directly up into the sky. And you and your inner child ride this wave up into the heavens, up into the sky. And it feels like it goes on forever. But there's a turn, and then it goes right back down. It's like an amazing slide that goes up, and it goes down. So you ride and ride. The channel is clearing. The channel is opening. This luminous light slide just guides you and guides you. You feel safe. You just surrender to the motion as it continues to take you round and round. You completely forget about the house. You completely forget about your worries. It's just you and your inner child. Just having fun. Just going up and down, up and down. Eventually, you go around one last time. And at the final rotation, you land in the backyard of the house. It is very soft grass, freshly cut. There's a little water on the top, like a morning dew. And you lay on the grass with your inner child laughing and playing. He's jumping on your stomach. And as he jumps on your stomach, a beam of light shoots right out of your stomach. And it goes right through your back, all the way down to the ground, all the way up to the heavens. Just feel that. Feel the flow of consciousness flowing through your stomach, all the way out your back. And now you begin to rise. You stand up. And the light stream is flowing from the top of your head all the way down to your feet. Pure lights, clean, luminous light. Then you put your hands together in prayer and you say thank you. You look at your inner child and you say thank you. Thank you. What a gift you've given me. What a gift. When your inner child says, you've always had it, you just forgot. I came to remind you. So now we will begin to pick up your little inner child and give it a nice hug. And as you do hug yourself, give yourself a hug for being here in this moment, for being present, being open, being available. And just begin to rock your body from side to side. Just rock back and forth. Now I want you to rub your hands together. Just rub your hands together. Take all that energy, all that love, all the gratitude, and put it on your face, put it all over your body, wherever you feel needs the love. begin to rub your face, rub your eyes, massage your face a little bit. So wiggle your body, shake your body. You could begin to gently open your eyes. You could blink a little bit. Take a deep breath. Thank you guys for engaging and participating today. This is the end of the meditation. May you be blessed, and may you forever shine the luminous light forever and ever. Satnam.
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 Yeah.
Ooh. Thank you, Aqua.
I give thanks, man.
So you guys just want to like hang out and play with Legos for the rest of this podcast or something?
Let's do it. Let's just play, man. Let's just
Probably.
play. Wow. What a blessing, man.
That's great, man.
I don't have any Legos, but I have this nice gong.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Tej. I love these guys, man. Yeah.
Aqua, that was by far, hands down, the most exotic meditation I've ever done.
Yeah.
Like, it was a whole thing.
KK says that was awesome. Thank you. Awesome. I give thanks. That was my first one.
Yeah, great job, bro.
I am pretty exotic. I'm from a galaxy far, far away. So, yeah, man. Wow. It's a ride for me. I had no idea where that was going. I just trusted the process, bro. Wow.
Yeah, it went somewhere. I don't even know where we went, and I was on the ride. So
We went out the window.
It
Down the slide.
It just went on the slide, bro.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, yeah. KK says I was literally laughing, then crying, then laughing. And I'm right there with you. I was definitely crying too. It was a journey. It was like a mushroom trip. By the mushroom man. Oh man, I don't even know what to do after that, bro. Like, what do we do? What do we even do after that, bro?
that's all I've got.
Yeah, man.
If we had marbles, what's Chan doing? I see him cutting something.
We got an avocado.
Oh, that's not your chia pet? Chia.
We can play the Steve.
Oh.
Oh.
KK says that I went around, up and down, then I stayed in the grass before you said to go to the grass. She was tapped in. Was tapped in. Yeah, that's awesome. Wow.
Yeah, man, I took off. I did one circle and then we were like, nope, poof, gone.
Just a rocket ship, right?
I looked at my inner kid and I was like, bro, I've got a dragon. Like, you want to ride?
Oh man.
You're gonna ride my unicorn around on my dragon?
And then it hit me. I was like, oh yeah, this is your dragon too. This is why I have a dragon. Little you and me. So hop on your dragon, kid. You can even drive.
So you and your younger self, your inner child, had both a dragon? You guys were both on dragons?
No, I let him drive the dragon.
Oh, he was the pilot. Oh wow.
Yeah. And
Oh,
I just kicked it in the back. I was dragging him around, and then I was like, dude, we've got a dragon.
Come around.
Yeah.
No, I let him dragging me around. That's the beautiful thing.
Wow.
It was like driving Miss Daisy on your own dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So KK says that I have to say that my dog freaked out on your low vibes. Oh yeah. And she also says it's the grunts, those grunts help, man. Like, especially as a man, it's just like we got a lot of low vibes. She also said it was a place that was good memory as a kid, an old house. Wow. And then she says, but I felt safe this time. Amazing.
And that right there too, that's how you like transmute trauma right there, is you relive it differently. You relive it in a better experience, and then it's no longer traumatic.
Yeah, like you just sit in it and just be the witness, observe, presence, awareness, and eventually that memory, you could transmute it, and then it begins to build new neural pathways in your brain. So it's no longer a trigger or a sore spot. It becomes a pleasure, and some are harder than others, right? There's different levels and stuff as well.
Yeah, and I liked how you gave us a confidant. Having the inner kid there, like going somewhere where you have support helps you realize that you have support all around you. You just haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a good way, again, to help a more rigid mind open up and see really that there may not be like a physical kid inside of us, but there is an actual kid inside of us, and if you don't like acknowledge it, him or her, it's gonna keep asking for attention in different ways. First dis-ease in the head, then dis-ease in the system, then disease in the body. So like anytime we can start to get more in tune with believing in what we can't see but we know is there, because that's really seems to be the hardest part with a lot of humans, is if you don't see it, you don't believe it. Like we've got to see it to believe in it, but it's like literally the universe does not operate like that. Nothing operates like that, and the amount that we can see and or hear is so small on the spectrum range that like just ultralight, for example, just because we can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. Infrared, just because we can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. They've proven it. They have the technology. They're harnessing it. They have goggles that you can use it now. It's like the same thing. And so bringing in that inner kid helps us really start to break down the barrier we might think or feel there is between ourselves. You know, like, how long has it been since you went and checked him out, or like touched in with your inner kid? Your inner kid, in my opinion, your inner kid and your higher self, they're like, if they're not the same, they're definitely real close.
Yeah, man.
It's like the inner kid is just the higher self that you can tap in here, and the higher self is the direct source up there. Like 2 points of a tether.
Definitely, Tej. One thing that I was feeling is just like your inner child, like it's the purity, right? I think before up to the age of 7 is when you like lock in your personality, and then you lock into the ego of this identity and the polarity. But like when you're around kids, people love being around them because they're so innocent and pure. Like they don't know all the things you know, right? So it's that. I think that's what Spirit wanted to channel today, is just like, hey, remember that, because that is your tether to the higher self, right? That's when you reincarnate, and that's your purity, and then you learn about this polarity, and then you kind of forget about it, right? Because of all the layers and the mud that gets put on them, you know? Yeah. So, yeah, it's powerful, man.
That's a good way of looking at it. By tapping into your inner self, you can then work up the ladder into the higher self. Yeah, and they say that kids up until they're 7 live in a theta brainwave state, not the brainwave that we live in. So, and theta's known for processing data.
Yeah.
So, like, it's a good channel frequency, and so it's no surprise to me that the kids, when they're that young, are just literally living it, because that's the frequency that they're in. There is nothing else to them. There hasn't been anything entered into the system to have them think about needing to react. Yeah.
Definitely, man. KK asked, how far can one go?
Till you get to nothing, and then it's everything all over again. Or did I misinterpret the question? How far can one go within oneself, within one's practice? Really, so I love this question, because as far as you want to go, it only stops going when you think, okay, this is the end. The second you think, okay, I now understand this fully, that's the end. If it's like, okay, now I understand this, but I bet there's still much more for me to learn, it'll keep going. Like, if you don't turn it off, if you don't say there's an end, there won't be an end, unless you want it to end. But yeah, there is no, it just keeps going up, man. That's all the universe wants to do, is evolve. The whole system is set up so that everything on this planet is just naturally trying to evolve, whether they're aware of it or not. They're either evolving or they're in their surviving mechanism. They're either thriving and evolving or working towards evolution, or they're surviving and they're living in a mindset of lack. So they're de-evolving.
So she
Fear
says,
or love, the two poles.
She follows up and says, that's an open-ended question, I guess. Maybe there is no end. So I would like to give an analogy.
Infinity.
Yeah. So the way that consciousness works is that there is the singularity, the non-duality is just infinite, unconditional love in a pure state, right? Then consciousness fragments because it wants to experience, right? And it keeps fragmenting until it becomes dualistic, polarity, masculine, feminine, right? Those are the main polarities. Then you go through this cycle and, like, you know, keep looping, and then you go back up into infinity to report back what you experienced. That's kind of like the thing. So as far as you could go is back to non-dualism, the singularity, essentially. That is infinity, right? It's the forever unconditional love. So I would like to, you know, just add that.
But that's the main pushing force, the energy. See, it's hard to conceptualize these things sometimes the way we talk with our 3D mind, but we've got to look at it as like a river more than a thing, or like you were saying, Aqua, like the river that it experiences a pathway and then comes back. That's a bad analogy. Yeah. But energy, it can't be destroyed. It can only be recreated.
Yeah, or transferred as well.
Transmuted or that's essentially it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It can only be recycled or restructured. So every time it evolves, it gains more data to create a better restructure, where if it falls off track and it's no longer generating loving energy that will help help others in the universe evolve, it dies, and then it gets sent back into the energy goes back into then creating a different thing in which can then be tested, if that makes sense. So you just got to think of it literally as a bunch of combinations that are constantly being put out, all trying to evolve, but it'll help to simplify that as an energy, one single energy, which is unconditional love. Literally everything out of love and because of love is trying to evolve or live, depending on the word you want to use. Yeah, I'm
Definitely.
just gonna.
How about you, Chand? Do you have any input?
Yeah, I mean, if we want to talk about infinity and just think about your inner child, think about when you were a child and you have a toy. You know, maybe you have some dolls in a dollhouse. Like, you're not just playing with these objects, like you are becoming these objects, right? Like your infinite imagination is allowing you to have an experience, right? That it's not just dolls. You're in there. You're driving your little race car around. You're the race car driver. You know what I mean? Like what you ask a kid, just children have such vivid imaginations. They say, I want to be an astronaut. They see themselves in space. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So infinity, like it could be best described by like your imagination. And it's like Tej was saying, like for many people, the way they're raised by either their parents or society or whatever starts to put limitations on how they can experience infinity and say, oh, that's silly. Oh, don't do that. Or, that becomes limiting. It starts putting boxes around infinity. If infinity is a circle, we start putting boxes around it, putting divisions into what infinity can be and rules. That's when we start limiting ourselves from accessing anything but what we're told to do. And we start seeing an authority outside of us as an author to our life that isn't us anymore. Even we might say, well, I guess I'll be a teacher then, and I won't be an astronaut. It is impossible to go to space. Only 1 in a billion people can do it, and that's not going to be me. That's what my parents said or something. I guess I'll just be a teacher or something. Now you kind of having this authorship outside of you, right? And I wrote a blog post on my website a few weeks ago. It's about 4 types of authorship. Right, there's the outer authority, when you give your authority up completely, and the most extreme version of this is going to be like someone who signs up for the military and their whole life is being dictated by the state. Then you have the mental authority, and that's when you're living through your mind, right? But your mind is just responding to what's happening around it, right? And this is where like things like doubt come in. You're responding to outside. Then you have your intuitive authority, when you listen to your body. And now you're starting to get somewhere, right? Now you're starting to be the author of your own life. My gut said don't do it. you know. My mind said yes, but my gut said that's a bad idea. And then it turns out by not following what my mind did, I ended up in a much better situation. You know, that there ended up being an accident on the way to where I was going to go. My gut said go somewhere else. You know, and then the fourth authority is when you give your authority to your higher self. Right? Now, it's not just like, you know, it is an outer authority technically, but not really. You're giving it to like this divine consciousness, this higher energy that flows through you, flows through us all. And when you're there and you're in full faith and trust, right? Now you're able to look around and you can, like for me, I just start to see me in you and you in me, right? I see myself in everything. I see everyone else in me. And now there's this cohesion of like everything happening around me. Like this is the higher self. The consciousness is everything, right? And I'm a vessel for it, but so are you. So is that desk. That desk is a vessel of consciousness to hold my computer or whatever, you know? And then you start to be able to tap back into that infinity. Or like, oh, well, my higher self, you know, like I have an intention and I just give it up to the higher self, full faith and trust, anything I can think of, right? And all this stuff around you that's still technically you starts to shift and reform. The Lego castle now becomes a Lego spaceship, right? Or whatever your intention might be, your reality will start to rebuild. And now you're just in alignment because everything is connected, right? As within, so without. That's ancient saying right there from way back in Egypt. As within, so without. What you believe, what you perceive is always happening around you. Whether you believe that that's you or not, but when you really believe it's you, then all you have is love, right? Right? Unconditional love for myself and others. Because you're me. How could I treat you bad? You're me. Even if you don't see it and you treat me bad, I'm still gonna give you love. You know? So this is how you allow infinity to unravel around you, you know, because it's everywhere, and you and your higher self work together, because your higher self is also everything. It's just the higher self of everything, and it's gonna help maneuver all the parts, right? To put everything in alignment to be where you need to be.
Amazing. Wow. Amazing, bro. Thank you for sharing that, man. You know, wow.
Yeah, the hardest part is just trusting that. Like, just literally getting out of your own way and trusting and knowing that that's what's going to happen, even if things around you start to look scary. It's just like Chan saying, it's just the reality adjusting. We literally are so powerful that if we hold an intention hard enough for long enough, literally it will change everything around you, everything in your, what you can see, things you can't even see. Like, if you just have to be aware enough to know that you're doing this process. Like, if you don't believe in the process, you'll never even be able to see it. If you don't believe in it yet, but you want to experiment with it and believe it to be possible, then you can set yourself up to start to see these things happen in real life, in real time, in your real life, in real time. But again, we still have to be aware of these things and practice them, and like consistency, and give, like, at least give everything a good try so you can start to really fit on you what works for you and what doesn't. Like, we're building a manual here for ourselves every day. That every day we get up and we can be a better person for ourselves, we can be a better person for others. Like, that's just how it is. Every day I heal myself, I heal others. Just through opportunity.
Like, when it comes to like doubt, and doubt is just fear, right? And whenever you're able to look fear in the face and say, I'm doing it anyway. I'm gonna let this happen anyway. I'm not gonna run back to what I feel is safe, right? I'm gonna keep moving into the future and go away from that fear. That is giving love to the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because when you're tuning into your higher self and not running away, you get to be an example for the world too. You get to show others that it's possible. But you're going to be acting in the direction of love, because that's what the higher self is calling you to. So it's all connected. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the higher self is pure love. It is pure unconditional love. So it'll tell you the things that you might not want to hear, but that are what are best for you to hear. And again, this is part of everyone's journey is different, but it helps to really find some sort of reason for why you're doing this, an intention for why you're doing this, just something to hold on to, so that when things get harder or trickier, that you can grab this idea or question or concept or whatever it is that you've made into like your little confidant, and then gain strength from it or support from it, or like a group like what we're in here. All of these things, get together with a friend or a family member, and then ask, like, together try and channel your individual higher selves, maybe together, maybe separate times, maybe just do it your own way and then talk about it at the end of the night. I mean, again, trust yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Be creative. Like this is one of the biggest things I can't overstress enough, is everyone's process is different. There may be a lot of people that can do similar things, but that doesn't mean that it's gonna work for everybody. Everybody has their own process. Everybody has their own timeline. Everybody has their own. The more organic it can happen, the better. Path of least resistance. And again, all of that is literally, I know I make it sound complex sometimes, but to simplify it, follow the love. Like, just follow the love. Turn your heart ears on, your hurts, and follow the love. Just feel the love. Let the love navigate you, because the love will be more powerful than the words. Your logical brain won't be able to produce words that will be able to generate stronger feeling than what you know to be true in your heart. Your heart field will always be able to produce the bigger, more powerful feeling, because it's the bigger, more potent electromagnetic field.
Definitely. That's very important in channeling your higher self, is shifting from the head to the heart, and then establishing that brain heart coherence. I feel like that was kind of the message from spirit, right? Like going round and round, right? Like we were cycling. So it's this connection as it flows, right? Because you have the three dantians, which is your stomach, your heart, and then your brain. And to have the clearest channel, it's about just flowing, right? From up and down, right? From your intuition to your love to your intellect, right? And then you just keep flowing. And I think it's very important to just really surrender to the process, because just like the example I demonstrated was, I just surrendered, right? I didn't think about, am I making funny sounds or is this weird? I just said, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna literally be 100% authentically me, because this is what I do in my room. This is how I channel. When I feel constricted, I vibrate my body with my voice until I could see what the answer is, right? And speaking on the topic of authenticity, right? That is the key, right? And it takes time, right? Because a lot of times we have mud, especially on our, our inner child, and we have this fear. But the more you live in your authenticity, no matter where you're at, right? And sometimes it's a struggle, right? Because society doesn't, promote being unique, right? Like, there's so many things, like if you stick out like a sore thumb, right? Like, so many things that, like, it's gonna push you down, right? So there's fear, and there's like this doubt, and like, oh, I want to be accepted by the group, right? And all these things kind of like clog the channel, right? And there was a study that put a few people into a Faraday cage, and they measured which emotions, and if you don't know what a Faraday cage is, it's a cage that just blocks off all frequencies from entering. So it's just pure energy, what's in there, right? What's in there is in there. There's no interference, right? So they measured a bunch of people that and they wanted to see what was the highest vibration, what was the highest frequency. And they found out, right? They tested a bunch of things: love, gratitude, right? Bliss, all these things. They found out it was authenticity. When a human being is authentic from the inside out, right? So within, so without, right? That is the highest vibration. And that is the vibration of your higher self, right? Because now when your higher self tells you to do something, you don't think about it. It's a complete flow state. It's a oneness, right? The channel is 100% clean. There's no fear. You just release the message. The message just flows through you. You deliver the message just like a postman, postwoman, and you just keep it you just keep it moving. You keep it pushing. You don't think about it. You just boom, okay, done. And I'm off to the next one. And it's about being present, right? Because in the present moment, the whispers are coming, right? Hey, make a left. Hey, make a right. Keep going straight. Stop now. Something is coming. That's your intuition trying to align you up. It's almost like when you had the old TVs, you're trying to move the freaking antennas. Let me see what's the best signal, and you're trying to like move it, right? So I definitely wanted to just share that insight. I think it's helped me a lot, and I know it's been a struggle for me to find this authentic vibration. And you have to try out a lot of things. You can't be afraid to try different clothing, different sounds, different ways of speaking, different ways of walking, like different ways, different routes. Like, just try and experiment. And that's that inner child, right? Like, I really believe that's what Spirit was trying to connect us with today, was just back to that play. Like, the world is your oyster. Like, the world is your playground. Just play and experiment, and you will find your way. And I'll wrap it up with this. Bashar, which is an amazing channel. I think his name is Daryl Ankh. And he always says, Bashar always says, follow the thing you're most passionate about, the thing that excites you the most, and then do it all the way until you exhaust it, and then go to the next thing, right? Like, that's what your higher self wants. It wants you to, what am I most passionate about? And sometimes it just might be strange. Like, you just might be passionate about, I don't know, like something that's just, it doesn't even make sense. And you have to do it. Just do it. At the end, you will figure it out why, right? And I've seen this play out so much in my life where I just didn't know where it was taking me, right? Like, and I've said this before, but like, I went to India, and then somehow I met these guys online, because the person I met to India, by the name of Jeeves, he's probably gonna show up one of these days on the channel, and one thing led to another. But my intention was always to find my tribe. And I was just in circles. I was, in this friend group, that friend group, all these people. And then it was a process, but I just kept believing and having faith and just holding on to that intention. Like, man, I know there's a soul tribe out there. Everyone keeps talking about it. Like, I know it. And, I had a lot of shadows to deal with, a lot of like things to process, right? Fears and prejudices and all these type of things clogging the pipe. And eventually, you know, through chain of events, through serendipity, something like that. Synchronicities. How about that one? That one comes out easy. So through just synchronicities, I eventually found that intention, right? And I held on to it. And I think that's the end of the channel. That's the end of the stream for me, because I can keep going like that. So how about you, Sean?
Yeah. Yeah, authenticity being the highest vibration. I totally agree. You know, it's connecting with your highest self and just being purely you. And what is more authentic than a child? You know, so definitely see just how impactful your meditation was just for this topic even more now when we talk about authenticity and just remembering our authenticity, you know, how we lived so authentically before like we realized like magazines and television, advertising were trying to homogenize us, right? And like, what is homogenization? So like milk is homogenized, but milk, when it comes from the cow, it actually rests and it goes into layers, and you know, the fat and the cream rises to the top, and then they do some process so that it doesn't do that in the bottle, right? So it takes all the separate parts, and there's beauty in individuality. We're all individual humans. It's like Barney said to us when we were kids, you know, everyone's special in their own way. But they take milk and they shake it up so that it's all just the same. And that's like what a lot of modern capitalism does, especially through advertising. It says like, let's try to make everyone think they have a need for this product, and then you have a bunch of people, they all want to wear that same outfit, you know, and they all want to, because it's being tapped into the fear, right? So authenticity, you know, and I'm sure most of us were indoctrinated into this kind of world, if you're from the States at least, and it could be a battle of like, oh, I want to be myself, but everyone's doing this. Everyone in school is like, this is the cool thing, and the popular kids, and blah blah blah. You know, it's tough, and a lot of people fold into that pressure, right? And it's like, what's cool and what's going on? Everyone's got a PlayStation. I should have a PlayStation too, and you know. But as we get older, you know, hopefully we can find the path back to our authenticity. You know, we could see that like, oh, you know, I actually don't feel comfortable wearing these clothes even though everyone likes them, you know, and oh, here's just some company making billions of dollars because they convinced everyone they need it, you know. But you're an individual. We're all individuals, and like the most beautiful thing you could do for this world is express your individuality and be you. Just be you. Like that's why you came here. We came into this world, and infinity is the word here. Like consciousness wants to experience all infinite potential. That's why, you know, there's been about 1 trillion humans on this planet. Each human has had their own story. It's trillions. Now think about every animal and every plant, everything in the sea. Like just you add it all up, it's just infinite unique experiences. So, you know, embodying our higher self is finding that authenticity so we can live our unique expression of infinity, right?
Amazing.
So important, you know, because you really get to live your life and be free, and life becomes less stressful. Yeah, just find that solid flow and happiness.
It really gives you a avenue of helping oneself not fear death, because this body, the ego, the vessel, the meat suit, whatever, but the I in here is infinite. So based on how I live this life, after this vessel is done, my progress gets reanalyzed, and then I get to come back into another vessel that will help me continue to better serve the universe in its path towards evolution.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
when we
more
talk
like
about
upgrades than it is death.
when we talk about death, just like consider your own life, and when you're on your deathbed, like, do you want to look back and be like, I was in this unhappy relationship most of my life because the pressure in my family was to get married when I was 18 and start a family, and that's not really what I wanted to do, but I gave into it. Or like, I just worked and worked and worked, and then I died because the pressure of society said just go to school and then go to high school and then go to college and then just get a job. It doesn't really matter if it makes you happy. It's just what you're supposed to do, right? But you just wanted to be in a band and make music, or something like that. And now you're looking back like, wow, I kind of wasted my life. And I got to maybe enjoy the last 10 years, but I was so old I didn't really get to do much with it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get to express your authenticity, yeah, you do get to look back at your life and be like, wow, I really lived. And like Tej said, I can move forward into whatever's next without regret, without anything negative there. And they say, like, when you die you go to heaven or hell. Well, when you die, your brain dumps DMT right onto your brain, and you go into a whole nother infinite realm almost, where time and space don't matter. And what they say often happens is when you have a life full of regrets, what is hell is now you're reliving all those regrets, right? You have to experience and work through them and be shown all these things that you've done that weren't authentic to where you were. But like, when it's heaven, you just move forward with bliss, right? So just another note on just, what is I forget the quote. It's just like a French line, but it's pretty popular. It just means
C'est la vie.
remember your death.
Oh no, never mind.
No, that's C'est la vie is a great one too. Such as life. That's understanding when things don't go the way you want them to. It's just like, that's just how life goes sometimes. But something with Merte. But anyway, just to remember your death can really help you live. Remember you're gonna die. You don't want to die with regrets. You don't want to die with knowing that there were unresolved issues with people and things and with yourself. If you can live authentically, you can really begin to plan for the end of your days just being full of bliss, your whole life full of bliss. Start at the end and work backwards. As Aquawolf likes to say when we talk about programming.
Oh yeah, you start from the end in mind,
Yeah, and then again, you learn that you don't die if you live something worth remembering. Then you just come back and pick up where you left off in a different vessel.
Mm-hmm.
There's no dying. There is just transitions.
Yeah, because we're just energy, right? And I think the second law of thermodynamics is energy cannot be created nor destroyed, only transferred or transmuted. Right?
There you go.
So once we understand that everything is frequency, energy, vibration, just like Tesla said, you'll understand everything. And with that being said, we are about 5 minutes away from the 2-hour mark. And I wanted to just say a few things before we start landing the ship. So Chand, on my right hand side here, he has all these paintings, right? So I feel like life, when you live it authentically, is a beautiful painting, or it's like a beautiful sound, a song, right? And I think to wrap this up, because in a way we went from channeling your higher self to like the end, right? Which is your higher self, right? It's the higher self lives at the end, and it just comes round and round and just keeps going, right? So allow yourself to paint the most beautiful picture. Sing the most beautiful song. Laugh the loudest. cry with so much passion, you release everything holding you back. When you want to do anything in your life, do it from a place of pure love in the present moment. Experience the experience it all. Because there is no good or bad experience, only an experience. That is why you are here. That's why you volunteered to be here. And remember why you signed up for this university in this earthly universe. And part of the contract was you had to forget. You had to go through the sea of forgetfulness. And, you know, sometimes there's others that come to remind you. And I feel like that's what we did today. We wanted to vibrate the remembrance. How to plug back into source. How to plug back into that higher knowing, that pure, infinite, cosmic potential. And Spirit wanted to connect you back to that innocent, pure, luminous child, that inner child that we all have. And sometimes we forget. We forget to play, forget to laugh, forget to sing. So today we just remind all of you who have engaged with this live stream, as we streamed the consciousness of the divine, we are only conduits. It is not us, but it is we. We are all in this together. You are loved. You are cherished. We are grateful that you chose to be here now with yourself and us. It's been an amazing ride. It's been a mushroom ride, an amazing ride. So good. And I'm just grateful that you joined us today. Today's your day. Today's the day that you said, yes, I want to clear the pipe. I want to be a conduit. I want to remember. And you did. You allowed yourself to remember. The seeds of your infinite potential were planted today. It is up for you to water them daily. Don't forget to water those seeds with love and authenticity and abundance and prosperity and laughter and forgiveness and gratitude. Water those seeds daily and show it some sunlight, that amazing sunlight. Yes, yes, you did it. You're on the path. You know the path. You just went on a detour, and that's okay. Today you got back on the path. And we are forever grateful for this moment in infinity where we can expand, because so many distractions are in the world at the moment that want us to contract and constrict and limit. But today we expand and we push past the limits. We push past. We break through the cracks like the rose that grew from the cracks of the concrete. We grow. We grow. And we continue to grow. We continue. So thank you. Thank you. I'm forever grateful. And I want to thank all of the ascended masters, the extraterrestrial life forms, the founders, the Vega, the Ceres, the Orion, the Palladians, the Zeta Reticuli, all that have cosmically weaved their web here on Earth. So I'm grateful. I thank all the ascended masters. I thank Isa, which some know as Jesus or Yeshua. I thank the Buddha and Krishna and Shiva and Vishnu and Brahma and Ganesha and Hanuman. I thank all of our ancestors that paved the way for us to get here today. All of our forefathers. All of them, we wouldn't be here without you. Our great grandmothers and our great grandfathers. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the seeds of hope and courage and perseverance. All the storms you guys weathered, all the famines, all the droughts, all the floods. Thank you for surviving, giving us a chance today to thrive. Today we thrive. Today we live. No more surviving. No more surviving. Today we thrive. So thank you, ancestors. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. This has been the Quantum Self Podcast, where we bridge ancient wisdom with modern science, and we say unconditional love for oneself.
For oneself and all others. This is the way.
Sat
This is the
Nam.
way. Sat Nam. Thank
Sat
you.
Nam. Bye for now. All right. Have an amazing night, ladies and gentlemen.